It's a new year in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning and welcome to SimWorld Today. I'm B Ron. Alongside me is my co-host Yells. Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man. Did you follow all the crazy superstitions to make sure that you were gonna have a new good year, a good New Year?
I didn't wash clothes yesterday
You
or
didn't.
or or, or today, so there's that. Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe
No,
that's the one that you
no.
said. That's me and my wife thought about that. I said I don't want to take dirty clothes into the New Year. She's like, no, we don't wash clothes on New Year's. I was, oh, okay, yeah.
Didn't do that. I had my black eyed peas and rice with greens and all of that. So yeah, I'm good, man.
Oh,
Good.
okay. Well, you're about to
Yeah.
get paper. Setting up
Hey,
the
I
year. All right.
I hope so, brother. I hope so, man. Well, look, let's jump into some things real quick before we get started with the show proper. Are you a New Year's resolution kind of guy?
Uh, think I,
Cause
I think I brought
yeah,
it up on the show the other day when we were talking about something. If you
you may
make
have.
them or
I forgot.
not, I think for a lot of people, the psychology of making that resolution just kind of sets you up for failure. For some
Mm-hmm.
people, it depends on your personality, but everyone made it they made it a singular transition. So if you're that type of personality where you like to set a goal and you like to go tackle it, then make your New Year's resolution. And
Yeah.
then when you fall off the horse, because inevitably everyone will, just pick yourself back up and keep going. It's about
Mm-hmm.
the target. Targets are not always about accomplishing the goal, especially if it's unreasonable, right? Target
Yeah. Right. Right.
setting goals are about hitting targets and setting a lifestyle and stuff. So New Year's resolutions are good for those people, in my opinion. For others, you make that resolution, and some people make lofty ones that they know, it just may not get it done. So for some people, that just kind of tears down the confidence. So
Yeah.
I'm not a big resolution guy. I'm a goal guy. I make resolutions. I break them down into micro resolutions every day. So I have my goals for
Mm-hmm.
the day. I have my goals for the week. I have my goals for the month. Thus, I have my goals for the year. But they're not made to start the year as a resolution.
Got you. Got you. Yeah. Cause I'm the same way. For those who want to do them, cool, go for it. It's not for me. And I think I mentioned it in a thread the other day that I don't do them because that for me it adds unnecessary pressure for me, and there's too much that is out of my control. Uh, to try to hit some goal that I have for myself or whatever. The only goal that I have is to be 1% better than yesterday.
And that's a good goal. That's a good goal.
Yeah, and that's in anything that you do. So, that's if we're talking, basketball and SimWorld Prep, for example, or even outside SimWorld Prep, whatever it is that you're working on, if you're 1% better than yesterday, you're doing something right. But remember, and this is the important thing: progress is not linear. Progress, there's peaks and valleys to it. So you're going to have your ups and downs throughout the year. Take them as they come, and don't beat yourself up when those things, try not to anyway, when those eventual valleys happen, because they're gonna happen. You have to just get through it, because there'll be another peak eventually. Progress is not linear, folks.
Absolutely. You talked about it in terms of progress. So yeah, New Year's resolution. New Year's resolution. So do what you got to do. You set that resolution. It's a great goal. Matter of fact, you set one that seems fairly unreasonable. That might be even better. That might be better because if as long as you give it some effort, the least you do is set up a habit. And if you
Hmm.
fall short, at least you hit that target. So
Yep.
do what you guys need to do. Do whatever it is. Everyone makes the weight loss one. Everyone makes the be a better person. Everybody
Into
makes the make
you
more
know.
money one. But here's the thing about resolutions. Here's the thing about goals. Period. Your goals have to be about something more than money. They have to be about something more really than yourself. If they have a purpose tied to somebody else, like we do here in SimWorld, breaking that fourth wall. Our goal is about our users. It's for you guys and providing the experience. If your goal is something about more than yourself, then you're more likely to hit it or at least move towards it. If it's just about you, it may be a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, look, there's a lot of people with goals coming into the new year and that kind of stuff. And one of those people who has goals in mind is today. Royce Anderson has a goal: beating his former team. Because today him and his AT aliens will face the Bay Area Breakers in a revenge game for Royce Anderson. This is gonna be, I think this is their first time playing each other since everything happened in the offseason, that kind of stuff. And we're seeing some clips here of Royce, but I want to talk about Royce in particular, focus on him for this topic here. What is on the line for Royce Anderson in this game in particular? Because there's a lot of emotions coming into this game with him facing his former team. There's a lot of talk around him, not being used properly last season in the Bay Area, and now that he's with the ATLians, him being the number one guy over here, and can he carry the load? Is he that guy? All those kinds of questions. So for Royce Anderson, what's on the line for him today? All those things on the line for him, in your opinion, and can he, if he does have a poor performance in today's game, which is 12 o'clock on ESPN 2, by the way, if he has a poor showing in this game, is this going to be a case of where the media kind of gangs up on him and hey, he's not who we thought he was, that kind of thing?
The media gangs up on everybody. That's how it goes, right?
That's true. You're right.
The
Absolutely,
media,
yeah.
the media does whoever's the hot topic for the day. They're gonna ride that bus. We're gonna give our comments, give our thoughts. Some people are gonna fight the good fight. Some other people are gonna do their job, and they're gonna ask the question, make the statement that needs to be made. That's the media's job, so that's gonna happen. Good, bad, and indifferent. He has a great game. He's the greatest player in SimWorld prep history. He has a bad game. My God, why he should put down a basketball and hit the fry button. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's gonna happen, without a shadow of a doubt. But as far as his performance today, as far as what's on the line for him personally, his team's sitting at 4-2.
Both those teams are looking really good this season.
His team's looking pretty good. The scouts are out here saying, they understand he's still a great talent. He's leading his team in scoring. I think he's shown last season where he kind of faded to the background because he did not get opportunity. I think what he's been able to showcase so far this season with AT Aliens is, hey, I still have, obviously I got a bag. I can go score when I need to. 37% from deep. He's struggling a little bit there, but the whole league has been shooting 48% from everywhere else, 15 points a game, grabbing some boards. He's doing a little bit of everything. But what he has shown is that he can. Not that he's not falling in the background with AT Aliens. He's playing more of a team-oriented game where people expected him to dominate the ball. It looks like he may be able to play in a system for some of these blue blood schools where they're like, hey, we can bring him in and not have to totally ruin our organization. And ruin's a strong word, but we may not have to acquiesce to one player and play, AAU style or pro style ball and cater everything around one player, which nobody in SimWorld U wants to do that, and it's not going to happen. That's not how SimWorld U works, right?
Right.
Hey, I can bring you into a structured system, and you're going to do it. So I think this season he's proved he can do that, and I think this game is a personal game for him. This one's one for him, so he can kind of have a moving target, if you will, here on this one, B-Ron. He can go out and he can try and score 7,000 points in this one, and we're going to talk about it. And if he loses or wins, we're still going to talk about that performance, and that's what he can do. He can move the goalposts a bit and just pull the victory out and say, hey, this is all that I'm looking for. Him and his camp and legacy group can say we were just looking for the dub on the revenge game. And lastly, he could just kind of fall back in this one. He could say, hey, I'm relying on my team because I believe we have a better team and we're out here trying to win before the race to one. So I think it's a great game for us. I think for Royce, I know there's some personal, I feel there's some agenda there, obviously. But as far as his stock, he has a lot of ways he can play this.
He does, and I you brought up all the different possible scenarios that could happen with his performance today and all that, and I think that's a really good point too, because either way we're going to talk about it, and I think there's different outcomes from those conversations that we can have once he has the performance that he ends up having, whatever it is. Because if it's a game where it's a team game and he doesn't dominate the box score, that kind of stuff, it's gonna be a situation of, hey, yeah, Royce is good. He played well against a team, didn't try to press too much and got his team to win. If he goes up, has a big game and they win, then it's a whole other thing. But keep this in mind, looking at both these teams, they're hot. the Breakers winning 4 in a row coming into this one. ATL is on a 3-game win streak themselves. So both of these teams are really hot coming into this game. And I think that it's gonna be, regardless of what happens, it's gonna be fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing that one later on today at 12 noon ESPN2 once again.
Orion Toomey up against Trey Hyman. There's a
Mm-hmm.
matchup. Royce
Mm-hmm.
Anderson against any of the kids that are 6'7" that actually play some defense on Bay Area. So you can see him matched up with Adonis Knight, who also didn't get a lot of clock last year. You can see him matched up against Daquan Carter.
Yep.
That'd be good to see. Then you got BP. BP,
Yep.
Mr. Patches, he's going to be locked up trying to disrupt Dime Hardaway and Jawan Harris bringing that ball up the court.
Yep.
It's gonna be interesting. You got Willie Styles and Torian Shelley. They're gonna be trying to get it done via committee
Yep.
against Sean Hyman. This is going. There's some really good one-on-one personal matchups in this one for me that I'm really looking at. A lot of times we look at the game, we talk about the teams as a whole, like this is pro ball. No, I'm looking at some direct matchups in this one. I'm excited about.
Okay. All right. Well, look, let's move on from matchups here to another one because we have a new coach in Gotham 5 who's making his debut today, believe it or
Wow.
not.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, former fan turned coach Jeff Michaels is going to be making his
Crazy.
SimWorld Prep debut today. He has an impressive resume too. He came in. He spent 3 years as a player development coach for the Nets. He worked on status in the SEC for nearly a decade, and I think this is the big one here. Spent 12 years as a AAU head coach. So with all of those things coming in with that kind of pedigree, coming into Gotham 5 and replacing Coach Mula, that, in my opinion, has to be, if you're a Gotham 5 fan, hearing that news over Gotham 5 player, parent of a player, whatever it is, you're excited about this. I think you are. I think you're very excited about this move in particular. The question, though, coming in with all this news, though, is can Michael be the guy to turn this team around? That's the question coming in.
B-Ron, I don't know how I feel about this one. We watched this guy. This is a crazy situation. Like, did he just talk himself into a position? He was out there kind of promoting himself early on this season in the offseason. I'm a little flustered by how this came about. I'm gonna be honest. It's weird. And that's the perfect word. When you hear that word in the media, you just know that somebody is truly bewildered. This is weird. This
Yeah.
is weird. His credentials speak for themselves. We haven't seen him coach at all, so I don't know what to make of it. What I will say is it simply has to be addition by subtraction. In my opinion, the word I always have my ear to the streets. I hear the kids out there in Gotham. We're looking for someone that seemed fully, where their attention was not parsed, where they're directly, where they felt like they were a center of attention. There were some comments that were made prior. I'm not sure where these kids' confidence is at this point. I know they have a lot of talent. I personally have believed that this team, undersized or not, a lot of people had a lot to say about their size. It's prep ball.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams that are undersized, but this is also SimWorld Prep, so there's a lot of kids here. There's a lot of extraordinary size in SimWorld Prep that doesn't normally exist.
Yeah.
So Gotham 5's right there, but they have talent. They have guys that can handle the ball, guys that can shoot, they can score off the dribble. And I don't think they have someone that's just going to sit down and get a one-on-one lockdown, lock you up defense. But they have some guys that could probably do it by committee. I'm interested to see the style of basketball that he plays. Is he going to stick with the standard, hey, we run through a player or two, or is he going to really get the full team involved? Is the team going to back him? That's the really big one I'm looking for after all the turnover with this team, turnover in players, the turmoil going back seasons where we had what we had with Mbako, Coach Velarde. We forget some of the ins and outs of this team. Keontae Dior not being on the team and now being back on the team. Magier and Mugen Williams not being center pieces of the team at times, and now they seem to be in a good spot. You got Kel. Look, man, you got Kel McKnight, Carter Cash. Those kids are supremely
Kamani
talented.
Woodbury as
Kamani
well. Yeah.
Woodbury is a dog, and he reminds me a lot of JT King. I don't remember which one. From Philadelphia. So they have some talent. They have lots of talent. I think the bigger question outside of if he can turn them around, because I think this is a situation where we're not looking for record turnaround here. I think we're looking for culture shift and stability. Is the
Yeah.
team going to buy in to Coach Michaels? Are they going to support him? And is he going to be fully checked in? That could change the fortunes of this team. You build that this season and take that in the next season, next year's recruiting, and see where it goes from there.
Yeah, no, I did that. I'm glad you brought up culture and that because that's what I'm personally looking for first before anything else. Because the organization has been dysfunctional for a while now. So the first thing that has to happen before wins can really start to come and start to mean anything is Jeff Michaels has to come in and establish himself, establish his culture, what kind of environment he wants to have for the team, for the organization. You know, if he can meet Sherrod Hamilton's ownership demands, that kind of stuff, that's all going to go a long way to earn the respect of both the players, parents over there, and the ownership. And if you can get that stuff going and nailed down first, then we still talk about wins and how that tries to cure everything. Because I think that stuff is great and it's important, but the culture is what's going to matter most. Uh, the one thing that I will say for Gotham is that they're still one of those teams that lack in size, and that's still going to be a problem going forward. The tallest player is Mugen Williams is 7 feet. We know this. He's listed at 7 foot anyway. They don't have a similar Europe size or anything like that. So that's going to be a struggle for them. But I feel like if they can play within whatever scheme Michaels has for them, their size won't really matter too much because they'll be able to play effectively within their roles.
I've been screaming from the mountaintop to watch this team just run up and down the court, not just offensively but defensively. Like if there was ever a team to play 40 minutes of hell, raise the old school UNLV or Arkansas Razorback style, this is it. So we'll see what he has in store for him, though.
We sure will, and we'll see it later on today at 1 p.m. Eastern because G5's going to play Showtime in California in that movie studio turned basketball court.
Look at that,
So
man.
yeah,
You're on your promo game today. I like it. Working with
I
intention. It's the battle of the coasts today for the new year.
battle the coaches. Yep, new coach getting ready to
Coast.
start.
I
And
said coasts.
oh,
D-Ron.
coast,
Yeah,
coast.
that's
Okay,
a tongue
gotcha.
twister.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like the old bad boy. It's like the old bad boy death row deal today.
yes, sir.
You
Well,
want a
look,
coach that's not all on his phone on social media during the game? Come to
yeah.
Showtime.
Exactly. Do you also want a coach who avoids controversy? Unfortunately, Rosante Vance is not that guy. Uh, so look, we are very aware of what happened over the on Friday. If you weren't there for that or weren't around for
Set the
that,
table. Set the table.
the game between Lakeshore and Heartland was heated. Heartland ended up winning that game in overtime. After the game, Rosante Vance, the owner coach of Lakeshore Drive, uh, gave a he gave a motion to Brian Lovelace, Coach Lovelace over there, and it wasn't an appropriate one. I don't know if we can say it on air or not, but
Yeah, you
I'm gonna
flipped
say
him the
it.
bird.
Yes,
You flipped
he
him
gave
the
him the
bird.
bird. He gave him the bird. Uh, not appropriate at all. I had my thoughts about it on Twitter. If you saw it the other day, not appropriate at all. I don't care how you feel about the other coach, anything like that. Unacceptable. So consequences should be coming down the pipe for Vance for this incident. I don't care if you're owner, coach, hybrid. I don't care. I don't care. Something's gonna happen. So my question to you yells: do you think there will be any consequences for this? Because we can say, oh, there should be, but do we think the league's actually going to do anything about this? Be given his position as both owner and coach,
So
how do you even handle that? You know what I mean?
I don't. The funny thing, maybe not a funny, but I like to make light. He didn't just give him the bird. He gave him the old Stone Cold Steve Austin bird, the bird with
Yeah,
no wings. Like my
yeah.
goodness, goodness, there's a lot of animosity behind that. We all know the backstory. Just to make it brief, Coach Lovelace, Coach Lakeshore Drive last season. Rosante Vance came in, or everyone learned that he's the owner of the team. They bumped heads. Lovelace, he probably said some things and handled things in a way that he should not have. And Rosante Vance went from 0 to a million, and then axed him as well. And then they had some public comments for one another. Really, more so Rosante Vance not acting so much like an owner, just acting like one of the kids on the court that has a lot of pride, too much pride. This game went down. There was a lot said before this game. Rosante Vance team lost. They did not shake hands afterwards. Coach Lovelace tried to wave, tried to shake hands. Rosante, he refused, and then he did that. As far as what the league's gonna do, I really question it, man. I'm not gonna lie, I really do question, because the league has been swift to move on these kind of things, and we've heard statements on lots of things that have occurred, and in this one, we've heard nothing yet. We've heard nothing.
It's a different situation. That's the thing. I think it is just because of his status as both owner and coach. I think that's where the difference comes in. It's a slight difference, but it's a difference. I do still, again, think that something should be done. What it is, I don't know, but something should be done. Okay, no. Hang on. No, I do know. I'm sorry. He should be suspended for some time, at least.
A suspension,
At least.
and I think that's probably some of the challenge the league has, is like, where do you draw the line and where the league intervenes? There's a lot that goes on. I don't know if I think suspension is fair. I think something it's not a good look for the league. It's not a good look for the organization, the kids and families. It's not how you conduct yourself as in a leadership role. It's that's wild. But we haven't heard anything, B-Ron. That makes me question. We haven't heard a peep. So far. So
look, maybe because New Year's and everything, league's taking some time.
No
to,
excuse.
League officials
no
are.
Excuse. I
don't know, man.
No excuse.
I don't know, man.
Success. I don't want to
Hey,
hear
look,
it.
I'm making light, man. Gotta make light somehow. The situation.
Get it together, Prep. Come down. Have something to say, man.
Yeah, y'all gotta get it together up there. Well, look, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all for joining us on SimWorld today this morning. We appreciate you all. Once again, Happy New Year. And we got 2 games today, 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Tune in for those, ESPN, and then on SimWorld TV, the 1 o'clock game. Remember, until then, you guys, though, SimWorld is the only place where you can see the game, be the game.
It's 2024.
We'll see you later on today and tomorrow with more SimWorld today. See you later.
Happy New Year.